What's going on, Genius Nation? Welcome to a brand new day, a brand new Saturday, a day that you've never seen before, a day that you will never see again. As I always tell you, each and every day is a gift waiting for you to open it up and take advantage of it. Welcome to the Daily Genius. I am Dr. Will, and as always, super excited that you are here with us rocking on this journey. At the beginning of the year, I committed to showing up inside our Genius Nation group for 365 consecutive days. We are on 184 days. We have been locked in, showing up every single day, where my goal is to provide you with tips, tools, and strategies that will assist you in becoming a better version of yourself and assist you in creating a life that you love. So thank you for those of you that come in live, for those of you that watch the replay. I appreciate you. I thank you. Do me a favor in the comments, whether you're live or watching this on the replay, let me know what city, what state, what country you are chiming in from. I just always love to know where we are connecting from. I got my Facebook family, I have my YouTube family, I have my Instagram family. So I always just love to know where we're connecting from. I'm here in the beautiful city of Phoenix, Arizona, where God vacations. And so if you've been rocking with us, you know on Saturday what we like to do. On Saturday is our review day. And so what we do is we like to rewind, review, and repair. And what I mean by that is we like to go all the way back, right? Rewind all the way back to Monday and see how our week went. See if we did what we said we were going to do, if we were focused, if we were on track, if we met our goals. I was thinking last night, as I was thinking about this morning, I think what I'm going to do on Saturdays, because we just have a little bit, more time usually. I want to go a little bit deeper in terms of how this looks for me when I talk about reviewing your week and setting up your week, when we talk about that on Sundays, and just go a little bit deeper and give you some more context. One of the things that I realize, if you are a business owner or if you're an entrepreneur, and I like to make that distinction between a business owner and an entrepreneur, or you may even be watching me and you're a career professional. So we don't want to leave out anybody. But if distinctively, if you are a business owner is very different than an entrepreneur, and that's critical and vital for you to understand that. So like for a business owner, when we think about a business owner, I put those individuals in the category of, let's say if you own a flower shop, and that's what you do. Like you have a flower shop, you have a brick and mortar, and that's what you do. You kind of solo and you have just that one business. That's a business owner. Whereas an entrepreneur, they will have a business, but they may have multiple businesses or multiple things that they're doing. They're not a just one entity concept, right? They just don't have that one business that they're running. They're running multiple, and it's very important for you to know that, because a lot of times I see business owners who want to tap into entrepreneurship, but they're not really entrepreneurs. Their mind is not wired like that. To be a true entrepreneur, your mind has to be wired a certain way. And it doesn't mean that you're better than just business owners. It just means that your mind is wired, and you need to know how your mind is wired, because it's going to predict how you function, right? And how well you can function, right? So understanding the difference between a business owner and an entrepreneur is vital. Also understanding, as a business owner, entrepreneur, you're still going to have what I like to call responsibilities, right? You still have a lot of responsibilities. And if you are a solopreneur, meaning you're doing it by yourself, if you are an entrepreneur and you're doing it by yourself, one of the big things that I see individuals overlook is you still have to have a foundation of a sustainable business. And so what I mean by that is all the roles and responsibilities of any company. If you think about a Microsoft, if you think about a McDonald's, your small business still has to have the same type of roles and responsibilities, right? Now, here's the kicker. You may have to fulfill all of those roles, right? You have the role of the CEO. You have the role, the chief finance officer. You have operations manager. You have marketing. You have sales director. You have a product manager. You have customer service representation. You have human resources. You have IT, right? You have your social media. Then you have administrative stuff, operational stuff. All of these roles and responsibilities have to be fulfilled. They still have to be fulfilled by you, the owner, or you, the entrepreneur. And a lot of that can become weighty. So if you don't have a system, it can become overwhelming. So if you don't have a system in place, you're not going to have a very profitable business, and you're not going to have a very enjoyable business. When I work with my clients, we work off of this format that I call creating a genius business, And genius stands for an acronym. It stands for a business that is gratifying. So you wake up every morning and you are filled with gratitude to be able to do what you do. The E is for enjoyable. You're having fun doing what you do. The N, which is very important, is net profiting, meaning you're earning a profit. That's the main reason for business. I know we want to serve and help people and support people and all that, but the main reason for business is to turn a profit. So you want to be net profiting. The I in Genius stands for innovative, right? You want to be innovative. You want to keep up with what's in the marketplace. Then the U is unique. Your business should be uniquely yours. My business is tailored for me. It's tailored for my lifestyle. So what a lot of people do is they create a business and then they try to fit their life into it. What I teach my clients to do is, no, let's figure out what type of life you want and then build the business that supports that life. So for me, being able to hang out with my family is very important. Being able to be there for my kids and at their events is very important. Being able to be at events of people that I care about and I love is very important to me. So I've built a business that gives me flexibility to be able to do that, to be able to show up when I want to show up, to go when I want to go, and to live the way I want to live. And then the S, which is very important, is systemize. If you're going to have a genius business, if you're going to have freedom, we talk a lot about time freedom, then you're going to have systems in place. And that's a little bit what I want to talk to you guys about this morning as we just elaborate just a little bit more. So, once again, if you're a business owner, a solopreneur, entrepreneur out there, those roles that we just talked about, right? Chief financial officer, your bookkeeping, operations manager, human resources, and all that kind of stuff. Those are still roles. And so when you're in the smaller stage of your business, and here's the misconception for a lot of small businesses. If you ask the SBA, Small Business Administration, who they classify to have a small business is any business that earns from $1 all the way up to $40 million. So that's a wide, large gap, right? 40 million. You could earn $40 million a year in your business and still be considered a small business, right? And it goes from one employee all the way up to, I think, 1,500 employees. So a company that has 1,500 employees is still, as it relates to the SBA, considered a small business, right? Still considered a small business. So I know a lot of that terminology can seem overwhelming when you're getting into business and you're running your business and identifying. We like to say, I'm wearing all the hats. I'm wearing a lot of hats in my business. And so when it comes to the systemized part of that genius acronym, systems are so very important in running those roles, right? Because those roles still have to be fulfilled. You may not necessarily say, hey, today I'm wearing the human resources hat, or today I'm wearing the IT hat. But when something happens to your website, when something happens to your email, who's working on it? You. So you're the IT person of your business. When a client or customer has a problem getting their product, well, who's the product officer? You. Who's shipping, right? Who's doing distribution? You're playing all of these roles. And so what you want to learn how to do is two things: automate as much as you can and delegate as soon as possible. Now, that may not be available to you when you're just starting out in business, and this is why you need systems in place. So that's what I want to run through. So when I review my week, I have my calendar here. When I look at my week, I have my whiteboard up here, and on my whiteboard, I have it broken down. So in stages. So daily RGAs, right? Daily RGAs. For me, RGA stands for revenue generating activity. Revenue generating activity. So every single day, to have a successful business, you need to be generating revenue. You need to be generating revenue, right? That's what's going to keep you in business. That's what's going to help you be profitable. So for me, I have what I need to do every single day as it relates to RGAs, revenue generating activities. The next category we have is projects. So I'm always working on a number of projects. So here, I like to keep my project list to about 10. I like to keep my project list to about 10 projects. And so I'm always each day allotting time to work on different projects. Then I have follow-ups, individuals that I need to follow up with, maybe they're potential clients or whatever. And then weekly, my weekly flow. There's some things that I do every single week. So let's say, for instance, on Monday, I do a newsletter every single Monday. So that's reoccurring. I know that I'm doing that every single Monday. I do on Monday nights, I do a question and answer. Would love for you to join us inside the group. If you go to Genius Nation, if you join our group in Genius Nation, you'll see that on Mondays we put the link in there, and it's 6 p.m. on the West Coast, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. We do a Q&A. You can come ask me anything about business. And then I send out an email to my email list. So that's Monday, my weekly reoccurring activities on Monday. Tuesday is my board review day. I sit on a couple of boards. So on Tuesday, I go through all of my responsibilities that I need to fulfill in those board positions. And then also for our consulting company, I have 4 different companies, and one of them is our consultant company, MTA. I go through everything that I need to review. Maybe it's contracts, maybe it's whatever going on with that business. On Wednesday, I continue to look at MTA stuff, and then I send out, on Wednesday, I send out another email to our list. On Thursday, we have a Speakers Academy, Genius Speakers Academy, and that's the day where I look at the flow of the academy, what's going on in the academy. If there's anything that I need to be working on in the academy, that's the day I look and work for that. Friday is the day that I look over, I have coaching clients that I do one-on-one coaching with, and so Friday is the day that I look at their files and look at their projects and see what they have going on. I work with up to 10 clients every year, one-on-one. And then on Saturday, we're doing right now, I do sales review. I look at the numbers, and then I look at my CEO dashboard. And I'll talk about the CEO dashboard on another video. But it keeps me aligned on the projects, the KPIs that I need to focus on. And then I have some family things that I need to do, personal things that I need to do. So that's my weekly flow, right? That's my weekly flow. And then I have my calendar here. If I have any special events coming up, if I have any meetings coming up, I have it on my calendar. And so this helps me to remain systemized, and it helps me to remain effective throughout my week. Now, let me share another thing with you. Here's a document, and this is just my brain dump document. And this is like all the projects, all the tasks, all the things that I need to get done. Now, when you initially look at it, it's a lot of stuff, and it can seem overwhelming. And this is what happens with a lot of people, because once again, as a business owner or entrepreneur, we have a lot of stuff that has to get done. There's no way around it. There's a lot of stuff that has to get done, and there's a lot of things that have to be done simultaneously at the same time, per se, right? And so it's like, I always like to look at it like a chef. Like you're cooking, and you're cooking certain things all at the same time. So while you're have something in the oven, you got something on the stove top. While you got something on the stove top, you're cutting up something on the counter. Like you got to learn how to do and manage all of these things at the same time. It's not like you just get to boil the potatoes and wait for the potatoes to get boiled, and then you go and baste the chicken. And then once the chicken's done, then you go and start working on the mac. That's no. You got to learn how to do it all at the same time, right? And if you don't have a system in place, it gets overwhelming. So I have my brain dump, and my projects and tasks is what makes it to my project, right? My project list up here. But here's the deal. Having a system. So how do I select what projects get to go on the board? Mainly it's based upon time, when the project is due, right? For instance, every quarter I write a book, and so I have timelines for that book. And so that would be a project that inside that quarter I'm working on. It has a specific time that it needs to be finished. Let me give you another. Let's see. Updating my calendar. Right. This is very, very important, because there's multiple people that have access to my calendar, but I become the bottleneck if I don't stay up to date on the calendar. Right. So because I have multiple people that have access to my calendar, I have clients that can schedule appointments with me. If I'm not ensuring that I update the calendar in a reasonable amount of time, then I'm going to start having clashes, right? I'm going to start having clashes. And so all of my speaking dates, all of my board meetings, all that kind of stuff, I have to stay on top of that, because nobody else knows that information initially except me, right? And so once I tell my assistant or put it on the calendar, then everybody knows. But if I don't, let's just say I have a meeting on Tuesday, and I don't put that on the calendar, and then one of my clients are going to our scheduler, well, on the calendar it's going to say open, right? Because I didn't input it into the calendar. And so now when they go and block off their time to meet with me, I look and say, oh no, I got a board meeting that morning. I have to call them and say, hey, I need to reschedule. You shouldn't have been able to schedule at that time. So once again, based upon time, right, and importance, that's how those projects get there. Now, let me share this with you, how we break these things down. Every day, you should want to or attempt to finish 2 to 3 projects, right? So let's say if I had 30 projects. If I had 30 projects, right? And once again, this is all broken down. My brain dump is broken down by things I need to do for MTA, things I need to do for GSA, things I need to do for drwillspeaks, that's my speaking business, things I need to do for coaching, things I have partnerships with particular people and organizations. And so I have it all broken down here. Then I have some personal things. And so I want to do 2 to 3 things a day. Now watch this. If I do 2 to 3 things a day, after 10 days, I've accomplished 30 things, right? And so that's how I stop from getting overwhelmed. Because if I do 2 to 3 things a day over a 10-day period, that's going to be 2 weeks, Monday through Friday, right? I know, boom, in 2 weeks, I'm going to have 30 of these things done. So I see the light at the end of the tunnel. So I'm not overwhelmed. I'm not anxious. I know that they're going to be done. And then based upon the way that I work and things like that, I know 2 to 3, because of my attention span and things, the way I work, 2 to 3 projects a day that I can complete and finish. I know over a 10-day period, that's 30 things. over a month, right? 20 days, I know that I've accomplished 60 things versus just looking at this list and just being overwhelmed. Like, it's just too much. It's just too much. I break it down. And I say, if I do 2 to 3 things every single day to knock off this list, right? And then the last thing I'll share with you, because we're about at 20 minutes, the last thing I'll share with you, I block off my time, and we've shared this before. So I have what I call off the clock activities, things that I can do. They need to be done, but they don't particularly need to be done on the clock. So for me, what's an off the clock activity? Off the clock activity is maybe I need to organize or delete some pictures on my phone. That's an off the clock. I'm not going to put that activity on the clock. I can do that. Like I have a trip coming up, so I'm going to put that on my off the clock activity while I'm on the plane. While I'm on the plane, I'm going to go through and delete pictures and all that type of stuff, right? That's an off the clock activity. Maybe I'm just chilling, watching TV for an hour or so. I can put in an off the clock activity, right? The other thing that I have is project time. So every day I have project time. So from 8 to 10 a.m., that's project time. From 10:30 to 11:30, that's project time, right? I know project time. Then I have office hours, right? I have office hours. As a business owner and an entrepreneur, for your mental health, for the longevity of your body and your mental, you need to have office hours. Don't be team 24 hours, team no sleep. Now, there are some times where you're going to have to burn the midnight oil and all that type of stuff, but I don't want you to come with that type of energy like, no, you don't have to do that. If you prioritize everything and you have a system in place, you don't have to work 24 hours. So you still need to have boundaries and set those boundaries for your life and have office hours. There's some things that you should do, and then there's a time where you should shut it down, right? Where you should shut it down. And then PTW is just what I call personal time for will, right? Personal time for will. So get you some personal time in there, whether it's just relaxing, whether it's going for a walk, whether it's just chilling with the family, get you some personal time in there. So that's kind of how I break down. So when we come to Saturday and I'm saying we're reviewing our Saturday, we're reviewing our week, how it went, those are the things that I'm looking at. Did I get my RGAs? Did I do all of my projects? Did I get my follow-ups in? Did I do what I needed to do with my coaching clients? Did I need to send them anything or anything like that? And so that's what I do on Saturday. So I wanted to, we talk about doing the review, the rewind, the review, and the repair every week, but I wanted to go just a little bit more in detail on this Saturday and just kind of let you know how we organize, all the madness, right? How do we organize all the madness here? So that's what I do. That's how, I run 4 different companies. I am a true entrepreneur at heart, but this is how I keep everything in perspective, and this is how I keep everything flowing, right? So learning how to, automate certain things, learning how to delegate when possible, and then that third aspect of is just having your stuff time blocked. We talked about that. Look at a couple of other videos from this. I think from this week we talked about time blocking, and block that time off. Here's the major thing: when you're working, work. That's the major thing. When you're working, work. When you're relaxing, relax. Right? But if you work when you're supposed to work, you can get an extreme amount of stuff done. Right? And I always tell my clients, listen, stay away from the sexy stuff. Everybody wants to do the sexy and fun stuff, the stuff that's going to get your dopamine up and all that kind of stuff, like scrolling Instagram and all that type of stuff and hanging out on Facebook and watching videos. All that stuff is good, but if you really want to be truly successful, I've been in business now for 24 years, and so if you really want to build sustainable businesses and income streams like everybody talks about, it's not as glamorous as everybody talks about. It's really hard work. It's like literally a lot of hard work. Like when I look at, once again, my brain dump, these are all things that have to be done to keep, and and we'll go and maybe I'll do some videos on literally each of the businesses, what it takes to make each of them successful, and because for each of them, they all have to have each of those roles, right? Bookkeeper, product developer, manager, systems, like because I have multiple businesses, I have multiple websites, and so to manage both of those websites, right, to keep them up, to make sure they're operating right, you got to stay on that, right? And so there's a lot of things that have to be in place. So I wanted to take some time this Saturday and just kind of slow it down during the week. I know it's our week, so I like to keep these to under 15 minutes, but I wanted to go a little bit further, a little bit longer today. I hope it was beneficial. I hope you got some deeper insight, gives you some more context on some of these subjects that we talk about. All right, and if you're listening and you do have any questions, remember Monday, now we won't be doing Q&A again because I have some upcoming travel. We won't be doing Q&A again until June the 17th, so I don't want you to think it's this Monday. We're not doing it again because I have some travel coming up, not until June 17th. So if you have a question, please, inside of Genius Nation, pop the question in there. You can inbox me your question if we're connected, and we'll get to it. All right, guys, go out there, as I always tell you, be your brilliant, amazing, genius self. Make someone else smile as you make yourself smile, and enjoy this day, whatever you have planned going on. Hope this was beneficial for you. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Daily Genius.